All right, Jason, you just secured the #1 seed for the PBA World Championship finals. It's been a long month here at the National Bowling Stadium. How satisfying is it to wrap up 80 games as the #1 seed?
Yeah, I mean, I remember walking into this building knowing just how many games there were. And it's funny, at the very beginning, you're like, stay patient, you got a lot of games ahead of you. And then I feel like I kept that patience all the way through to the second to last game tonight. So grueling, yeah, but a lot of fun. This tournament is quickly becoming my favorite, yeah.
Yeah, you've won more World Series bowling titles than anybody. You've won this event 3 straight years a couple of years ago. What is it about this World Series of bowling in particular that makes it your favorite?
I think it's the variety of patterns that we get. You know, you're not just doing the same thing with the same balls. You know, this particular World Series, whilst incredibly high scoring, I felt like, like day-to-day, pair-to-pair, that made it challenging because you knew you couldn't afford to get off to a slow start in any of the games. And so, again, going across 4 different patterns and then into the World Championship pattern, I think that's just why I love this tournament so much, is there's so much bowling, so many different patterns to conquer, and then ultimately, the ones I can figure it out and stay patient the longest, get there in the end.
Speaking of challenges, it was neck and neck there between you and EJ since, I believe, the 4th round. You two have been 1 and 2 in some order. For you, over these past couple of years with all of EJ's wins and accolades and stuff like that, how have you personally just been motivated? I mean, for so many years you were the kind of undisputed best in the world, and now he's sort of taken that reign kind of from you. How motivated have you been by what he's achieved and what you want to achieve?
Yeah, I've had to really take a long think about my headspace regarding that very specific topic of the best in the world. And yeah, I think because for so long, I don't know how I say this without sounding a bit funny, but I think for so long that was probably my spot. And in the last couple of years, EJ has definitely taken that spot. And so there's been a part of me that realizes, I've been out here a little longer, I'm a little older, Father Time will eventually catch up to us all. And then to be okay with, okay, you've dropped the spot, do you want it back? And that's the part where I think I've gotten my head around it. Like before, it was like, am I still #1? Can I still be #1? I think I'm still #1. And then the realization of, you're not, but get it back. And then on top of that, it's the idea of, if you get it back, not only are you going to tick off a lot of your boxes, but my ultimate goal is, I don't want to be the best in the world. I want to be the best of all time. So as much of a goal as it is to get back to the #1 spot, doing that will achieve a greater thing for me. And that's my motivation. That's my determination. That's why I leave my family. I don't want to be the best in the world anymore. I want to be the best of all time.
How much would a win on Saturday go towards achieving that goal?
Yeah, it'll go a long way. 16 majors, that's the number I keep looking at. I'm very capable of winning 20. And then I can stay in Australia and call it a day. I feel like, if I get to 20, I feel like that's the most ridiculous number that I could have ever have imagined getting to. And so whilst it seems a long way from now, I still have a World Championship to win, but that's my ultimate goal. That's what I'm aiming at. That's what I want to achieve in the next few years. And the fact that I could lead a World Championship at 41, still doing what I do, living from home, should it should confirm what I've known I'm capable of to everyone else out here and at home, that I can still do this and do it at the very, very top of our game.
All right, Justin, congratulations. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you, Nolan. Appreciate it. Cheers.
All right, EJ, you just made the PBA World Championship finals here. Two-time defending world champion. It's been a long, long month for you in Reno. How are you feeling right now at this moment?
I'm a little disappointed that I wasn't able to be the #1 seed. I felt like I executed really well today, just couldn't get 10. Belmonte struggled tonight and gave me an opportunity, but there at the end I wasn't able to win any matches, and Belmonte bowled a good game and was able to lengthen the lead back out where it was pretty much unreachable. I'm happy with my execution. It's just it's frustrating that the pins weren't able to go down today.
You've been in this position before here as the 2 seed, needing to wait it out, win a couple matches. You've been in the position before you have to beat Jason to win the World Championship a couple years ago. What is it going to take to get this done on Saturday?
Tons of strikes, for sure. Execution, again, is going to have to stay at a very high level, and hope you get the pins to fall down. That's what I was able to do last night. I got some fortunate breaks and was able to win. Hopefully I can do that same thing and just be able to execute. Go out and throw good shots. You know, there's a lot that we can't control after the ball comes off of our hand, so I can leave with my head held high, and if I can just go throw 10 really good shots.
On a positive note tonight, a great positive note, you set the official PBA record for consecutive shows made with 6. You've also made 7 straight single shows. What do you make of that achievement in itself?
It's it's pretty incredible. I know last year I was on the cusp and came up just short at the Masters, and it's pretty cool to be able to do something like that. I know I talked about it a little bit where I felt like last year was, to me, more impressive because it was in 5 different bowling centers, almost 6. But you know, this year, obviously I've bowled really, really well this whole World Series, and I've always matched up pretty well here at the stadium. So I was just able to take advantage of it and take advantage of some breaks and get on all the TV shows, and I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's one of those things where, you know, I think as players, I don't know if we ever thought it could be broken, because it's 6 consecutive top 5s is pretty hard to come by. Any top 5 is hard to come by. So to do it that many times in a row is I believe pretty special.
All right, Tim Foy, congratulations. You just made your first career major championship round, your 5th show of the season. How does this moment compare to what you've achieved so far this season and what you achieved in Delaware last year?
I mean, making the show in Delaware last year was awesome because you did it in front of home, but I mean, this being my 5th show and this being for a major, I mean, it's got to be the biggest one so far. I mean, you always dream of bowling for a major.
An 80-game marathon out here in Reno, and the only 2 players who outscored you were Belmonte and Tackett. That alone is quite an achievement. What do you make of that? I mean, we just heard you in Shark or the other night saying you felt like a minor leaguer playing in the major leagues, and here you are competing with those guys. Have you begun to kind of accept what you've been achieving out here?
No, I feel like if you accept it, you kind of slack off. So I don't want to accept it because I haven't won yet. So the fire's just burning, and until I win, it's just going to light even more every week. I mean, to say I'm 3rd seed right behind those 2, I mean, they've won, 10 of the last 12 player of the years? You can't, going into match play, I mean, do you want to run them down? Absolutely. But when you're 250 back, realistically, you're okay with staying the 3 seed. And luckily I was able to, I don't think I moved at all 16 games.
So you haven't won yet on TV, but you've been on TV a bunch. You've learned a ton. What's been the biggest lesson that you've learned in your experience so far this year?
I mean, it's just taking shot by shot. I mean, on the Shark, I had the heartbreak with the rep 10. I mean, I shouldn't even have been given the chance, but Smalls gave me the chance, and I was able to throw the 2 shots in the 10th pretty well, and unfortunately I rung 10. But it's just learning the transition that goes on. I mean, you only get one game if you lose, so that it's all a learning at that point.
There's been a lot of players, Hall of Famers, who it took them a while to win on TV. Bill O'Neill, I believe, lost in his first 12 shows before he won. Have you talked to any former players or current players that were in the position, just on what lessons you can take away from
No,
this?
I haven't really reached out to anyone. I'm just kind of going through the process. I mean, I've talked to Parker a few times about the show, and I mean, he's a pretty good one. He's been on a few times in his life.
All right, what are you most looking forward to on Saturday?
The chance to bowl for a major on the Big Fox.
All right, Tim, congratulations. We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you. See you Saturday.
All right, Boog, you just made your first major show. How does this feeling compare to what you achieved last season, making your first show, winning your first title, winning your second title? How does this compare in the grand scheme of things so far for you?
I'm not really sure what to feel. It feels amazing. First major. That was a goal this year, is to make a major cut, major telecast. And we did it. And it feels amazing. But nothing will beat Delaware. Nothing will beat the playoffs. That year was just something special. But this was just like, I got beat down so much this week at the World Series of losing against EJ, losing against Belmonte, and then losing in the round of 16 against Toon. And just beat me down so much where it's like, I'm making this World's TV. Like, all of the hate that I saw through the Bowl TV chat just like fueled this fire in me. And whenever I start feeling that, it's like I'm against the world. And I just knew I had to make this show for myself and to prove.
What would a major title and climbing the ladder to do it prove?
To go through the ladder, first of all, my first match against BJ. I'm rooming with him. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a fun one to to just try to run the ladder against the best in the world. We have the GOAT, Belma leading it. EJ's right behind him. Just to get to those two would be incredible. And hopefully we can line up enough strikes to get there.
I noticed throughout really all season this year, and it was pretty evident in the last couple rounds of match play here, you're really good at keeping a lighthearted attitude, even in the most intense competition that this sport has to offer.
Yeah.
How are you able to do that, and how important is that for your success to do that?
It's just putting everything into perspective. We get a bowl. We get to play a game for a living and get paid to do it. I'm out here for a month away from my wife and my family and just everything to play this game. And the fact that we have the opportunity to do this, it's just putting everything into perspective. And I'm just really grateful for that. And I think that's changed my motive, my attitude towards a lot of things. Because, like, I'm very grateful for the position I'm in right now. And I'm just super glad that I'm doing this whole thing.
All right, it's going to take a long road to get to that title match. 4 wins, but I don't believe you've ever lost on TV before.
I lost the LBC show. I'm not sure if that counts, but that was kind of like a strike derby. But
We'll let it slide. So what's it going to take to keep your undefeated PBA Tour streak alive?
I think it's just going to be, I like that I'm in the first match. Feel very confident on the fresh, and that I get to see the transition throughout the whole match. If I get by the first game, and then I can see that transition, and there's guys coming into the show, I just kind of guess. And, like, I just think anything can happen, and I think strong possibility that I could be on the championship match.
All right, BJ Moore, you are on the PBA World Championship Finals. You're going to bowl for a major title in just a couple days here. Mm-hmm. It was an exhausting 80-game marathon, and at the end there, you needed a double and 9 to make the show.
Right.
What's going through your mind as you're stepping up in the 10th?
I try not to let those moments consume me. So it was more so I still have to throw one shot, and I just happen to have to throw 3 of them. So I try not to ever overthink that, because I feel like you can really get lost in what's going on around you. So to me, it's just making sure you focus on the task at hand and execute when you can.
Were you aware of like the actual pin stakes, or were you just, I'm just gonna throw a strike and we'll find out later?
The scoring in this building is wild. So it's not like you can just kind of keep track of what's going on. So actually, while Jesper was up in the 10th, I went back and just confirmed with Rob Gottschall, Tim Mack. I said, hey, listen, let's just say he throws all three, what needs to happen? So, and when you're in that moment, your mind starts to race a little bit. So, your heart rate increases a little. So you try to slow everything down, and I just try to get as many answers as I can and then go out and do it.
I couldn't help but think of the Players' Championship last year when you're in a kind of that same boat. It's basically you versus Ryan Barnes for a spot on the show, and it kind of felt like you versus Jesper for a spot on the show here today.
Right.
And you came up short last year. How difficult is it in those moments with so much chaos going around you to just stay in the moment and do your thing?
I think that becomes a little easier the more you get to that point. Not that I've made a ton of TV shows, but I've at least experienced that before, and I've experienced it both ways. I've missed a few shows, and I've bowled my way onto shows. So it's always difficult. These guys are good, and it's a top 5 for a reason. So you just gotta go up and execute, see what you can do.
It's becoming an annual tradition for BJ Moore to be in title contention here at the World Series of Bowling. What is it about this event that seems to bring the best out of you?
I feel like once you find the characteristics of a building, then most patterns can come into play. It's just variation of speeds and how you're going to get to it. And EJ is a prime example of doing that here. So I've always enjoyed World Series, because I feel like once you can get the characteristics of the building down, then it's just making sure you go out and execute.
You've got one title under your belt. How much would it mean to you to climb this ladder, win one on TV, and win a major?
That's what we're out here for. Titles are cool, but the majors are the ones that you're always after. I feel like that's what kind of puts the stamp on your being out here. There's a lot of one title guys out there, and then there's a lot of guys that have won one title that don't have a major in there. So that to me, I think, is the pinnacle of it all.
All right, BJ, congratulations. We will see you in the first match on Saturday against your roommate, Boog Krol. What are you most looking forward to about that match?
We're going to bet lunch or dinner for sure. So that's what we're looking forward to.
All right, BJ. See you on Saturday.
All right, thank you.